So you go your Airbnb and you're struggling to get bookings, and the reason why is because you don't know who you're catering to. Hi, my name is Nicole, ex-investment banker turned Airbnb real estate bestie, and I'm here to give you the tips, the tricks, and all the tea on everything as it pertains to Airbnb. Let me cater to you. You need to understand, guys, who are you catering for? And I say this because who you're catering for is going to determine how you dress the property, how you price the property, all of these things that are going to make your ideal client avatar, the person that you're catering for, want to come and stay at your property. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 4 types or 4/5 types of groups of people that are coming to stay at Airbnbs. And I'm going to give you some small insight as to the kind of things that you can put in the Airbnb to make that property more desirable for them. So starting with number 1, you have, I'm going to go actually from least likely to most likely because this is going to surprise you. So starting with number 4, I would say. Start with number 4 or 5, however many I do. Start with number 4, tourists. Now, this may surprise you because everyone assumes and everyone has associated Airbnbs with going on holiday, because yeah, when you're a tourist, when you go on holiday, you might stay in an Airbnb with the girls, with the boys, with the guys, with the gals, and that's where your mind might kind of limit you as to who you can cater for. So tourists is number 4. Tourist people, I'm not gonna lie, are the least likely, but that's also a good thing, because if you think that, oh, tourist is the only person I want to serve, maybe you would think that your Airbnb needs to be in the center of London, right by Victoria Station, right by the not Windsor Palace, the palace. Is it Windsor Palace? What's the palace in London? What's the palace in London? Not helpful. Or your property needs to be right by the aquarium, but that's not the case, because at the same time, yes, tourists might be like, you have tourists that come to your property. They are not the only people that you are catering for. So therefore, that's great. It's great that you don't need to have a property right by the center of Victoria, right by the O2, because realistically, the rental amount on those properties are going to be much higher, and it might be a bit harder for you to make a profit or even negotiate a discount to make profits on those units. So that's one. Your least likely, I would say, is tourists. So open your mind, move away from solely tourists staying at the property. So that's number 4. So number 3 is relocators. So you have people that are moving and selling, buying, selling their houses like all throughout the year. However, sometimes when people are trying to buy a house and sell their current house, they're caught up in a chain. So they might have sold their house, but when they're trying to buy the next house, that house isn't ready because that house is in a chain. So in the meantime, they're gonna need a place to stay. And this is a great target market. Why? Because these housing transition things can take a long time. So they're going to be at your property for a month, 2 months, until their next house is ready. And the reason why they would opt for an Airbnb as opposed to a hotel is because they want that home away from home experience. Who wants to be living out of a suitcase in a hotel for 1 month, 2 months? So these relocation stay kind of people, they are great. They love an Airbnb. They love to stay a long time. They look after the property and they end up extending, which is chef's kiss. So that's number 3, relocation people. 2 is contractors. Number 2 is contractors. These are people who are doing work in the area. And I love a contractor because one thing about them, they're gonna stay and they're most likely gonna extend because the project always gonna overrun. So me personally, I love contractors. And another reason why I love contractors is because they aren't necessarily as too fussed about how the place is dressed, how the place looks, because they just know that they're here to rest their weary heads and keep on moving. So contractors are great. And the way that I like to look at on if contractors could be contractors could stay at my unit is by looking at the area and see what building work is going on, what new builds, not what high rises are being built in the area, because these contractors could be contractors that the project people have called from far and wide, and they're going to need a place to stay, because going all the way back to maybe Leeds, Hull, Liverpool would be way too far, so they just stay in London from Monday to Friday. So I love contractors. They're super chill, super easy. They don't complain much, and they're tidy as well. They're tidy, and sometimes they leave on the weekends. So if you wanted to maximize the returns, you could put your property on Airbnb on the weekends too, which is really great. So as for me and my house, I love a contractor. And then number 1 is your business people. They might come into the area for meetings, conferences, and they're looking for an Airbnb. Again, they are great type of guests, low maintenance in a sense of they're not going to be causing trouble. They're gone during the day, so again, your electricity bill is low, and they're just around at night. They sleep at a good hour, so you're not going to have any complaints from like the other neighbors about their countenance or their behavior or anything. Your business people are the most likely people that are going to come and stay at your Airbnb, and they are great type of guests, as I mentioned before. So that was, I know I thought it was going to be 5, but it's actually the 4 types of people that are coming to your property. And with that being said, we now need to reverse engineer. Okay, cool. If these kind of people are coming to my property, what do I want to have in my property? So as I mentioned, tourists. So for example, with your tourists, with them, you might decide to step outside the box and create an experience for your guests. For example, this isn't the UK, this is the first example that comes to my house, to my mind, sorry. This is the first example that comes to my mind. Let's say that you have an apartment near Disneyland Paris. You might want to address your accommodation in a style that's Disneyland Paris-esque. And the reason why is because people will just be naturally attracted to your property. If your property was in central London, you might want to have a lot of like Union Jack flags or big red buses, dolls and wallpaper and things like that, because it's going to attract people to the property. So that's something that you need to think about. When you're thinking about tourists, you want to cater to them. You might have on your listing how far your property is from everything. So again, it attracts the tourists to know that, wow, if I come to this Airbnb, I'm just 5 minutes from Big Ben, 5 minutes from Waterloo, and that really is enticing for people when they're scrolling on Airbnb for your listing to stand out. Now, if you're catering for contractors, I think with them, a good price is like optimal. Like, you need to make sure that you're really competitive on price. So at this point, you might not be as profitable, but at the same time, because they're staying for longer, you're willing to offer more of a discount on the nightly rate because they are guaranteeing staying at that property for 2 or 3 months, which is a game changer. So when it comes to contractors, I don't think that the interior matters as much. The main thing is that there's like 2 separate bedrooms. Naturally, in my experience, contractors don't want to share a room, so they'll have 2 people stay in one property but not in a 1 bed. So that's another reason why for me I like to get 2 beds, so at least I know if contractors come into the area, 1 person can sleep in one room, 1 person can sleep in another room. So you want to think of room configuration and prices when it comes to contractors. For business people, I like to find units that are near business parks, like conference centers. Again, this being in such close proximity to these arenas is just really, really helpful for these business professionals. I think about any time that I would go on a work trip, and I always remember that my accommodation was super close to the location that I had to do the training, maybe like a 5-minute walk, 2-minute bus ride, and I think that is really add to the convenience for the guests that are staying at the property. So you always want to think about these things when you pick a unit. Don't just be picking a unit slapdash just because a landlord said, yeah, I'm ready to do rent to rent. Reverse engineer it. Who am I catering for? And then you can determine, how do I need to stage this property to make it work? And then finally, relocation stays. So if you are catering for relocation stays, you probably are catering for a family. You might want to put a cot in your property. You might want to have zip and link beds that can also, which are beds that are double or king beds, but also split into single beds as well. And this is because if a family of 4 come or 5 come, you can reverse and you can configure the beds in such a way that allows for everyone in the family to have their own bed, even though they might be sharing a room. So these are the little tips and tricks that you need to consider. Who am I catering for? Does this property scream out to the person that I'm trying to have stay at my property? These are really, really key things. And another thing, guys, if you are looking for mentorship, please do hit me up in my DMs. I'll be more than happy to train you. And I'd really appreciate if you give this video a like. It really helps me. Subscribe, please. I'd really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you for the next time. Take care. Bye.